subhanahu wa ta'ala and do not scatter left and right. There is a very powerful reminder throughout the Quran that our strength as a Muslim ummah lies in our unity, not in our disunity. In fact, one of the biggest tragedies of the modern nation states and the borders that we have seen today in the world around us is that it has divided the ummah based on ethnic grounds. Once upon a time, there were no borders. You're a Muslim, whether you're in one corner of the world, whether you're in this corner of the world, if you said, La ilaha illallah, we are one family regardless of the language you speak, the background that we have. Nowadays, because of these artificial borders, you'll have people from two same countries, literally just miles apart, there's just one border, and now we identify with a particular ethnicity. Oh, we're not like, they could say La ilaha illallah, but my neighbor who doesn't say La ilaha illallah, because we have the same ethnicity, I identify closer with him, I don't care about that person. This modern phenomenon of borders and separation based on ethnicity has done a lot of great harm to our identity as Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. We are the best ummah. لا فضل لعربي على أعجمي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, whether you speak Arabic, whether you speak another language, there's no fadila. التقوى ها هنا. Taqwa is what makes us special. And I want to keep emphasizing this point because we live in a time of individualism. Everybody feels for themselves, nafsi, nafsi. This idea of nafsi, nafsi is something of the akhirah. You know, subhanAllah, I was in Chicago some months back and they were having a bazaar. And it was about 3 o'clock, we had finished dhuhr, we're just taking a stroll in the area. And in a matter of minutes, the weather changed. It went from very sunny, very calm. You can literally see the clouds coming, the winds picking up, the rain beginning to start. And then all of a sudden, the winds were so strong that the stalls began falling. So people are selling their clothes, goods, itar, honey, whatever they're selling. The winds were so strong that, you know, the stalls began falling. And subhanAllah, I remember seeing this very vividly. We went to one stall trying to help out this sister because she was struggling. And the sister next door, her stall, the wind hit so strong, it started falling. And this youngster, teenager, he started running. And the lady's calling out to him saying, brother, please, can I get some help? And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I have to get to my car right now. I don't know what's going to happen to my car. This young man, he had the strength, he had everything, but he was so concerned about his vehicle, he was scared there was going to be hail, that he ran to his car. Bichari, that lady, she's like 60 years old. I would have gone and helped her, but I'm holding somebody else's canopy, just making sure it doesn't fall. And she's calling out for help. People are running this way, people are running that way. You know, subhanAllah, this idea of the Sahaba, the description is, الَّذِينَ يُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصًا. That we learn to sacrifice for one another because we're selfless, we're not selfish. This idea of an ummah that, subhanAllah, I just want you to think about for a moment. Let's rewind the scenario. There's an elderly lady, she's holding onto her stall, her clothes are all getting wet, everything is falling down. I'm running, I realize that's my mother. I realize for a moment that that's my mother. Do you think I'm going to say, oh mom, just wait 1 second, I have to go check my car? No, I'm going to leave everything. Why? Because I have that feeling of her being my mother. Now, she seemed like a stranger, the person didn't know him, he just ran off and left and said, listen, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you, I have to worry about myself. Once we start thinking about the ummah as a family, regardless, my skin tone is different than that person, my language is different than that person, my socioeconomic status is different, then only will we be able to revive this ummah, this idea of an ummah-centric worldview. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reignite in our hearts the love of the ummah, and may we always give preference to the community over the individual desires that we all have. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just a reminder for the youngsters, inshallah, the young professionals, we'll have our session after the remaining sunan in the east side of the musalla upstairs, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum.